For a very long time, I was thinking of expressing my views about the stepmotherly treatment which is given to the defense forces and also to the armed forces, and how a strong hold of the bureaucracy or the IPS people, the government secretaries, and the neglect of the defense forces is ruining this country. Apart from ruining the careers of so many people and diminishing the name of, tarnishing the name of our defense forces, the thought came to me from the discussions which are happening on the TV and in the newspapers regarding one rank, one pension. The matter is dragging for decades. Now, one government has gone without giving any assurance or a firm date to implement this policy of one rank, one pension. In a simple way, if I retire 20 years back, I'm being given 5,000 rupees as pension. Now, today, when I'm 20 years older, the people in my rank are getting proportionately, it is an example, 20,000. Now, my requirement after 20 years of the medicine, of the other dependencies increases. So, where is the logic of not increasing it and not giving the due which the defense forces, which are put in very difficult positions and are very important for the defense of the country? Now, I will tell you a story. Before the Chinese invasion in 1962, our army used to be about 2 to 3 lakhs. A negligible air force and negligible navy it was. When Chinese invaded, there was a furor, hula baloo all around, tough discussions in the parliament. And then, in a hurried action, what came out? They opened a emergency commission. Emergency commission was for matriculates. All around, hurriedly, the matriculates were called for service selection board interviews. The interview was for one day for emergency 1, emergency commission 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, up to 12, EC 12. And training was 3 months. When I landed up in my unit after my training, against the vacancy of, I don't remember exactly, I think 28 officers, there were 38 officers. I mean, overcrowded unit with officers. There was no place for them to sleep. The mess used to be, officers' mess used to be crowded. This was the state. When the situation eased a little bit, then what the government did, they opened IAS, IPS, and other armed forces like BSF, CRP, ITBP was there or not, I don't know. So many officers were taken by these forces. After 4 years service, 5 years service, 3 years service, they were taken. What happened? If a person with 4 years or 5 years service from the army with emergency commission was selected in the IAS or IPS, he got his seniority of the army. IAS service and IPS service do not have much bearing or any bearing on the army service rendered in the army while doing the duties of a deputy commissioner or a DM or a superintendent police. But they got their seniority. Now, after some time, they stopped taking officers to IAS and IPS. Then they stopped giving any seniority to the officers who were taken in border security force, CRP, and other armed forces, central armed forces. Now the thing is that people thereafter, when short service regular commission stopped, with intermediate and graduation in education, full 5 day service selection board, and 1 year training, which was equivalent to the normal one. Now, they were given initially commission for 5 years, extended to 10 years in some cases not. Those who went to IAS, there were only three papers: English, English essay, and general knowledge. Just three papers. They retired as secretaries, additional secretaries, and in police, additional DGs. Mr. Bindra is one example. Mr. V.K. Dugul is another example. And there are so many others who went there. They were not very fit in the army. I've seen with my eyes. The SS1 officers, when they completed around 10 years of service, those who were taken in the border security force were given no security because an undertaking was taken from them that you will not get any seniority. Now, in this country, when the service opportunity, employment opportunities are very minimal, a person joins. So people joined the BSF. Now, those people who came afresh as new officers, they overtook the army officers with 10 years service rendered in the army. BSF did not give the seniority to them. The BSF has got a direct bearing and likelihood with army. At some places, they are doing the same duties which army is doing, but the service was not counted. The laughable part is that BSF gave no training to the army officers to do the BSF duties. Initially, the BSF units were amalgamation of Rajasthan Constabulary and Punjab Police and Punjab Armed Police and all that khichdi from everywhere. The things were not properly tuned up. It is the army officers who tuned up. Now, why it happened? It happened that if seniority is given to army officers, then what will happen? They will become DIGs, IGs, and some may become DGs, additional DGs also. So this was a mischief by the IPS and the government. IPS cannot do anything. IPS cannot do anything without the sanction of the government. It was a government policy. How it was ignored? With 25 years of service, the army officers who came as in army, they were majors and captains, senior captains and majors. They did 20, 25 years service in border security force, but did not pick up any rank above the rank of a deputy commandant. With the fresh candidates and the IPS with 5 years, 10 years service came as DIGs because DIG is a rank which has not much role in the civil society or in IPS category. It is the IG minimum, it is the DG or the district head of the police, the SSP or the SP. So, where to send all these surplus, unwanted police officers? They came to BSF, CRP, ITBP, and such like forces. Now, what happened? CRP Short Service Commission officers filed a case in the court, and court gave them relief. Overnight, from assistant commandant, they became senior commandants, and others were placed under them because army service is the prime service which this government has ignored. People are not talking of this. People never talked of this. The army service was counted only for pension for SS officers who had more education, who had more training, who were grilled for 5 days in the SSB. Rejection rate was very high. Who did not get any training from the BSF, who made the BSF, they were ignored. I'm one of them. So, what is the policy of the government? BSF can't do anything. Now, the BSF is everywhere. It is in the jungles, it is in the mountains, it is in the war areas, they say it is second defense. No, I was deployed along with the army. What they were doing, I was also doing. How it is second defense? It is a terminology framed by the government to benefit the IPS cadre, and they stopped the entry of army officers into the IAS, IPS because there was lot of resentment among the bureaucrats because with the 10 years, 5 years of seniority, they were placed higher than the newly recruited IAS and IPS officers. That is why in this country, it is only the bureaucrat. May he be, the civil bureaucrat is stronger than the police bureaucrats. But when their common interest is there, they join together. Otherwise, they are fighting with each other. There is a tussle between the IAS and IPS. So this is the story how the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, BSF, CRP, ITBP, and other defense forces, paramilitary forces are running. This is how they are running. This is how the government is running them. Now, there is no war for so many. There was a statement by somebody, the defense minister, that the importance of the army seems to be diminished because there is no war in last some years. What a foolish statement. You now I will come to army, though I have left it. Air Force doesn't have proper aircraft. Navy doesn't have proper equipment. The army doesn't have the guns. It doesn't have the tanks. It doesn't have the ammunition. It doesn't have the proper clothing. It doesn't have the facilities which should be given to them. Leave aside BSF. BSF plays the second fiddle. They are made to play. Otherwise, they are doing good job. And to blame anybody is very easy. So that is this. Now, after one episode, I was at a very high altitude for 2 to 3 years. From there, I came to low altitude. I was put a liaison officer. There was an exercise going on between generals and generals, telephonic battle and all that. I, being a junior officer, I was put as a liaison officer during the exercise to they say you go and tell that this object has fallen. You go and tell that general this place has fallen. I was doing this duty at a lower place. I mean plains at the foothills of a area which is very dangerous. Then came letter for my interview. I had to go for interview. I did not have proper kit. Shorts and bananas and so many things are required. I was sent up. From there I brought the things. No training, no respite, nothing, because there is no caring of anything. There is no caring. So after living for 3 years in high altitude, very high altitude, how you do the exercises, jump around and beat with the people who have gone from the low altitude, who were placed in good places, the people who were well connected, the people who knew people in the ministry or the senior officers who have never seen a high altitude area, they have not seen a jungle, they have not seen a Naxalite area, they are kept at cozy places. So they can do these things. You see your obstacle course and you're climbing the trees, jumping here, there, psychological test. I tell you, with lack of oxygen in the high altitude, on the high altitude for 3 years, diminishes your mental capacities, your physical capacity. You don't get hunger. You are in very adverse circumstances. You cannot equate with the people who are living in the plains, because I am a Punjabi, I am from plains, I am not a Pahari person who can cope up with these things. So there is no consideration. So ultimately, what happened? Whatever I did, I did. I put my best. I was a good athlete. I was in my training. I was excellent in all events. Thereafter also, I was running at a height of 12, 13,000 feet in a 2 feet or 1 feet high snow. I was complained about by men that he makes us run. And I run with shorts. You are running with warm clothing. So, whatever it is. So then, one Kamar Saab, who was from some royal family, asked me a question. He asked me, you tell me, when Indira Gandhi abolished privy purses, what you think about that? You tell me what I will think. What I will think about privy purses, it doesn't concern anywhere in the general knowledge or my views. If she has given, it is okay. If she does not give, it is okay. I don't know. I cannot do the reasoning why they should get or why they should not get the privy purses. So such was he was a comer. If I say it is a wrong thing to give them privy purses, I thought he will get angry psychologically. If I say that Indira Gandhi has done a correct thing, he may get angry. If I say that not giving privy purses is a wrong thing, then I'm going against the government. I'm going against the prime minister's view. I am going against the government view. So where should I go? I'm a person from the army. I cannot give political statements which tantamount to either believing or not believing what the government believes in. So these are the things. Somebody asked me, how is the food? I said, horrible. So many people told me that whatever they ask you say it is very good, very good. No. Speaking falsehood is as bad in heaven or hell or in this world. I said it is not good. It is worse than hospital food, which is given to heart patients after open heart surgery. He must have annoyed. I damn care if somebody is annoyed on truth. India says India is a country of truth. India is a country of falsehood. India is a country of negligence. India is a country of everything wrong, everything which is in the negative sense. This is my view today. No, I've crossed 70s long ago. But sometimes, you see, you are living. A living person must have reactions to everything. He must have his own mind. And mind thinks about things. I am very, very sad, very, very discouraged by the way this government is treating the uniformed people. I have not forgotten Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri, who said, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Jawan is giving the defense to the country. Without defense, country will be ruined like it was ruined in 1962. Without agriculture, the people will die of hunger. These are the two basic things. Now, agriculture is a basic requirement. Defense is not a basic requirement. It is a requirement because our society has dwelled in the nationhoods. There are nations, US, England, Pakistan, India. Everybody has got a territory and everywhere there are disputes. So that's why army is required. It is a necessary evil. It is not logical to have armies. Why societies cannot coexist? It is a philosophical question. The society has evolved like this, which is not correct. So, all my sympathies, I have suffered, people like me have suffered, and people are suffering. And this government will not do anything. Any government will not do anything. This country will do nothing unless it is taught a lesson which it was being taught in the past. It does not learn from its mistakes. What to say of blunders? What to say of blunders? It doesn't learn anything. So my sympathies are with all those who are suffering for a cause in army, BSF. You remain away your family. You may get leave or you may not get leave. You may get killed by snow. You may get killed by Odima. You may get killed in Chhattisgarh. You may get killed in Assam. You may get killed in. The politicians don't resolve the solutions. They don't resolve the disputes. and they are getting their army and BSF and CRP and Assam Rifles and all that killed because they are sitting in cozy air conditioned rooms protected by these forces, NSG and Special Protection Group. So why they should worry? And recently, what has happened? I will not. I am not a politician. I have no interest in politics. I was just pained by certain things which are happening in our country. I am a citizen of the country. I have fought for this country. I was wounded for this country. That's why I feel a little ashamed of what is happening, and my heart becomes a little heavy sometimes when I see that nothing is being done. Nothing is being done, neither for the poor, nor for the army, nor for the navy, nor for the BSF, nor for the air force, nor for any force. So people are resorting to corruption everywhere. Now the corruption has come to generals, which was never heard of. Lower below, there is a lot of corruption which people don't know in small things, in BSF, in army, in GRP, everywhere. It is there. People don't know because they are not very close. These forces are shielded from the civil society. That's why people don't know. So I am saddened when my country, my motherland, my fatherland, whom so many people sacrifice their lives, is being ignored. The people who are defending it, the people who are producing food, the people who are toiling day and night, they are being ignored. It's only the commercial activity, the GDP. They have got GDP psychosis. GDP, a poor man doesn't, a army man doesn't understand what is GDP. Corporates are earning. The foreign companies will come and give you employment. One foreign company came, East India Company, and it gave many employments which everybody remembers. 1,000 companies are coming. What type of employment? So I don't say more. Ultimately, I'll come to one rank, one pension, not for only army. It is for BSF retirees, even for civil retirees. Because what these bureaucrats do? They reduced army pension from 70% to 50, and they increased the civilian pension from 30% to 50 because bureaucrats are civilians. Army people cannot say anything. They cannot come to on the roads and protest. That's why this is happening. And I don't say that army people should protest. They should only suffer. In India, the brave people are meant to suffer. The good people are meant to suffer. The bad, the stupid, the people who are ruining the country, they have the right to have all the comforts and roam about wherever they are. Like so many people, I will not name them. Everybody goes to politics for power and power for money, and gundas to retain their seats, and corporates to give them money for elections. I'm sorry to say this. Why a party's funds cannot be audited by the election commission? Who has made this rule? Each paisa, when it comes to me, it has to be counted. Tax has to be paid. Parties what? Political parties are not some divine things coming from heavens. They also have to be counted for each penny they get from anywhere. The limit of 20,000 and this thousand, you give 20,000 200 times, how much it becomes. So I will not go deep into I have gone into the systems. I will not go into politics because I have spent my life in uniform and I don't want to dirty my mind. In the end, I wish success to the people who are fighting for one rank, one pay, and other good things. There are so many bad things which have to be changed, like the land law. Give all the land to corporates. It's very good. So I end with saying, my motherland will not remain the same. One day it will wake up. Jai Bharat Mata, Jai Bharat, Jai its population, Jai the toiling labor, Jai the soldier on the border, and glory to my country. Jai Hind.